Katie, and I am here to present to you my TriviaTour app. The original idea for this app was more of a location-based trivia game, and then the idea kind of transformed into this trivia-based tour for someone who was visiting Magic Kingdom. My research for this app, I looked at other ubiquitous learning apps that interacted with location and gave some sort of either learning element or some other sort of information based on where the user was located. I looked at the Field Trip app, Urban Quiz, Munzie, Waze, and Urban Spoon. So like I said, each of those have a really strong location element and then have some sort of informal element that is attached with it as well. Looking at these different other apps gave me an idea of how location was being used and how information and location were interacting with each other in these other apps. It also gave me an idea of the best way to display things like location and how to navigate through the different interfaces because each app was slightly different in how the user was supposed to navigate through them, some based on like what the app was. Like obviously the one for Waze was totally different from each of the other ones because it was the only one that was a GPS app. But from that I got some ideas on how to navigate through the user should navigate through for this app and how to display some of the different things, some of the information in the maps that I'm going to include in my app. Okay, so some of the biggest different elements that I took into consideration as I was creating this app were learning, play, and aesthetics. I'm going to take you through my app as I talk about each of these different elements. As you can see on this first page, you can see some of the aesthetics that I thought about as I was creating this app. Some things like the font choice and color, and obviously the Mickey Mouse. My idea here was that I wanted something that looked like it was from Disney, something that looked like it was a part of the Disney experience, because the idea is that somebody who is using this app will be in the parks. I didn't want there to be any sort of disconnect by having something that looked like it was totally different from the current Disney feel. The other thing that is really important and it kind of is a crossover between the aesthetics and the play thought for this app, and that is that the only way to navigate through the app is by clicking the buttons. It was really important that I made the buttons stand out and make it obvious that they were buttons, so that's why they have the red color with a little bit of dark around them, and just it's so that it looks like it's buttons, so that people know that that's what they're supposed to press. That's the only way to navigate through the app. So if you click the start button, it takes you to the next page. And the next page is the first stop on the tour. Each of the different stops on the tour looks like this page here. Has a map on the top that has the different spots, and it's an actual working map. You also have the question. So the question is, Main Street USA is modeled after what small town? And then you just click whatever answer you think is the correct one. So maybe you think it's Forks. That's wrong. Again, this comes back to what I was talking about before, where it's a button. It was trying to make it look like it's a button. It's big. It takes up the majority of what the screen would be, so people should be able to figure out that they're supposed to tap that, and it takes you back to the stop page again that has the question, and it'll do that actually until you click on the right answer, which is Marceline, Missouri. and then it takes you to a page, the correct answer page, and it gives you a picture and a little bit more information. And that's kind of the same setup for the entire app. You've got a working map, the question with different answer options, and then it brings you to the correct answer, and then on again. And it goes through that until you have reached a different stop for each point around the Park of Magic Kingdom. And so I mentioned the through the app is by using the buttons and clicking the correct answer or even the wrong answer and then going back and finding the right one. This was just to add to the element of play to the app. It's more fun if the user is clicking through and has to click the right answer before they can move on. It's not as fun if you can just swipe past if you get it wrong and see all the answers beforehand, or if you're just standing in one spot in the park. This is supposed to be something that you're doing as you walk through the park, so that you're interacting not only with the location but with the app and vice versa. And I just wanted to kind of show you here that you can't scroll back and forth. That one hit it because I hit the answer, but you can't scroll or swipe back and forth between the different things. The only way is by hitting one of these answer options. You also had the element of learning that was taken into consideration with this. I could have done it where whether you click the right answer or the wrong answer, it went to the page that gives you the right answer and more information. But this way you have the process of active retrieval. You can't move on until you get the right selection. You have to keep giving it a try. You have to keep trying again. And that was something that was also really important for this app, because it kind of goes back to a Disney feel. There's so many sayings throughout Disney that you should never give up, that you should keep going, that you should keep trying, and this kind of reflects that. And so, yes, as I navigate through and show you the rest of my app here, there are a lot of strengths, weaknesses, and opportunities and threats that exist with this app. Some of the strengths of the app again are the active retrieval, and that it kind of hits for a different audience that's visiting the park. The audience is more likely to be a little bit older than maybe the average park goer. It's also more for people who are visiting most likely without small children. Also, probably more likely that someone's going to use this app either if they already have a strong interest in Disney, or people who are really interested about learning about their environment or the places that they're traveling to. A weakness with this app is that right now it's just a prototype. The intent for the app is that it would recognize the location of the user, so that the next question would not actually come up until it registers that the user is at that spot. So it would be a little bit more where you actually have to go to the different spots in order to see the questions. But since this is just a prototype, you can't really see that here. There are a lot of opportunities with this app, because right now there's only 7 stops, but it's something that would be very easily added onto. There's a lot of trivia and a lot of history and background information that's found within Magic Kingdom and really within any of the Disney parks, that this is something that could be expanded upon for either just this park or take the same idea and use it for, and either expand it to all the parks or take the same idea and make it different interactive for each park. And then one of the threats that you would have with this is with the real tours that are given at each of the parks. Those tours offer some different benefits, and I mean, there's benefits to this too because it's something that you could do at your own pace and just kind of as you're there already, and it's not cheaper and don't have to plan as much for. But there are different benefits to actually going on a Walt Disney World tour. They often include your meals, include special passes onto the rides and things like that. So hopefully you enjoyed my app, and thanks for watching.